Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are doing a duo review. We're going to try that between two different roles, and that this time we're looking at Becky and Gamebuster, which is going to be off-tank and flex support there. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and we're really pushing to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can
Attackers
join the
incoming
Discord in
in
the
30
description below,
seconds.
see what rates look like, see what sort of events, fun things we have coming up, all that good stuff. So here we are. We're set up with Moira Mercy as our support line, Diva Ryan as our tank line. So we're going to expect that the Mercy will spend time with the McCree, the Moira is mostly going to spend time with the Reinhardt, and Diva here is going to do her off-angling thing. That's what we'd expect. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Sorry about those mic issues we had last time.
Defend objective A.
Okay, went for early shots. So we don't really want to send out that healing orb here. If we wanted to use it, but A, we just didn't really want to use a healing orb there. It would have been cheaper to just use a brief little gust of healing resource. Yeah, we were on full healing resource to get our healing off. We did not need to send the orb here to get the healing off a moment earlier. We could have sent a damage orb out here if we wanted, as long as we make sure that the Diva is not going to eat it, which looks like we lucked out. Diva would be late in getting it. But if we wanted to send it this way, it should have been a damage orb. If we wanted to heal our Widow, a brief little tap of resource was cheaper than committing our whole cooldown for that. Okay. Hey, Super Kashayaka. Okay, they're spending lamp for us. How nice of them. But we have lost our Widow. Not a ton either of our people can do about that, other than, yes, we do have the option of just hard DMing over our sniper when they peek, but really we wouldn't want to expect to have to do that in this situation.
This is my
Um, Okay, I don't love this. I don't love the damage orb just for tank damage. When you're throwing out the damage orb, it's a lot more effective against squishies than tanks, just because it's a bigger percentage of their health. It's more annoying to them. Sending a damage orb at this Hanzo is actually pretty annoying to this Hanzo, especially if you bounce it around a little, especially when he was trying to go for his little sniper battles, because then it's like, shoot, I might be in body shot range. Shoot, I have to go places to get health packs. That actually removes him from the fight for a bit. Sending it over at the tanks does much less damage as an effective portion of their health. If you send it at a whole group, sure, you get some damage on all of them right before an attack or right as a, dive, rush, whatever is happening. That can be useful. But this over here, Diva's just going to eat it if she knows what she's doing, and it did a little damage to Zarya, and you sort of expect the support. Sure enough, BAP is going to be just a second behind and heal it up. So this isn't as great. It's more expensive if the Hanzo has to go, shoot, I took damage, now I have to run over here to get the health back. Or shoot, I took damage, and I have to run through your Widow's sight line to go get the health back. Or I have to, in this peak fight, accept that she can now get with me with a body shot instead of a headshot. Yes, your Widow's down, but that's how you'd think of it. Your damage orbs are really good for forcing out flankers. They're really good for making unsupported people uncomfortable and have to leave. They're okay at throwing into big groups when your team is ready to brawl, but this is A, probably early, and B, this is just a tank. This isn't a big group of people. We throw it at the big group of people for the damage on many targets. This is only one. Okay. So Diva here, we want to go ahead and block this out. We want our Diva to go block this out. We know that there's a threat over here because it just took out our Widow, and they're doing sort of a dual push on us, where they're pushing from this direction and threatening from this direction. So we don't want to just back up, and they're actually threatening over here too. Oh, so we're going over after the Sombra. That's okay. Yeah, Diva's got to anchor the point. I wish Mercy wasn't doing this. Diva anchoring the point over pushing at the Hanzo is acceptable to me. Unfortunately, that's dragging us back too effectively. And how we can use those boosters. So that's not how we wanted to use those boosters. So if we use those boosters to push this Sombra, which I think now you don't have to anymore, that Sombra's already down to half health, and I'd rather keep your boosters. And the reason I want to keep your boosters is your next job is to go flush out that Hanzo. That's fine. You're throwing up the DM. And now as soon as that teleport goes off, literally as soon as this teleport goes off, we want a 180 to try to get ourselves back towards this Hanzo or back up here where we can DM for our Rhine for a second and then drop to fight this Hanzo. This is what we're doing. Or since your Moira's right here, you could 180 and go fight this Hanzo. And Game Buster, like I get it. You're going, hey, I want to deal with this Sombra. But look at how effective this Sombra was. This Sombra just got 4 people to pay attention to one hero. One hero that wasn't really going to get any eliminations. Best they were going to do is a tick. Becky could have responded to this alone and stopped it. I don't like that Mercy did. You guys can't control that. But I don't like that you also responded to this, Game Buster. Like, you're looking at this. Becky can more than handle that, whereas your Ryan is going to need you to continue to enforce this strong thing. Like, I know you just saw the Reinhardt video, so you know Ryan wants to enforce this corner. So we're looking at this and going, Ryan needs your help. You need to be able to be here where you can go, do that. You're here where you go, I can do that. And then, Becky, on your next boosters, you want to go back and challenge this Hanzo. And then Game Buster can pop over here and throw some heals on you if you're losing that fight, because you won't instantly lose that fight. It's perfectly fine to zone this Hanzo. We do not need to beat this Hanzo. We just need to make this Hanzo leave and not lose our mech in exchange for it. Okay. Okay. Ryan don't have a shield anymore. Okay. There we go. Oh, bye, Ryan. Bye. And yes, this was wrong of him. He shouldn't have just charged in, but he may have done this charge to try to go, shoot, I'm doomed. I have no support. Let me just try to trade out because I'm going to get eliminated. Let me try to pin someone so that we can both take a trip to the spot. It's still wrong. He should have just backed out, backed down, and then played from here, which is bad, but is better than this and is better than trying to hold this with 0 support. But we needed to leave some support up there in the form of our Moira. Okay, and they're going to close this out. Their angles are just too strong at this point. You can cancel that every time. I know it's a pain. I know it's a reaction test, but you can cancel that hack really every time as D.Va. So that doesn't mean you will. That doesn't mean I expect you to, especially at this level, but you want to be reaching for it. You want to try to react at least to starting to get hacked, to trying to shoot, get the cancel, etc. And where did our Moira get to? Interesting. I'm not sure what you're going to do over here. Again, you wanted to play from here where you could heal your team. You could peek up here and right click if people came in, but you weren't super exposed. Up here, you're sort of alone. There's not much you can do. Yeah, your range isn't that big. And now this is just junk time. Okay. No shield equals charge. Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't, but for this round it did. Oh no. Oh no. Well, bye Ryan. Hopefully he goes down in the next second or so he gets 2-second respawns. Good, good. That's where we want our D.Va to be. You don't need to stay here though. So we want to make sure that they can't take this. We want to make sure that they can't take this from us. And being up here is an okay distraction as long as you have your McCree doing work down here like he was. But now that your McCree's gone, you want actually a meaningful threat from up here. Like, you're not actually going to get eliminations from up here, and they're going to trade into you way favorably in terms of damage that they throw at you versus damage that you throw at them. There was value in being up here to push out their D.Va because you didn't want their D.Va to have it. And there's value in being here to make sure that their Hanzo or Sombra doesn't come up here and then play from here. But as soon as you're no longer qualifying as you forced out the D.Va, and you're no longer qualifying as a distraction for your McCree, and what I mean by that is they look up at you instead of looking at your McCree, or they look at your McCree, so you shoot them shoot them on the cap there, that's fine. But now that that's not happening and they can all turn their attention up to you, you don't want this anymore. You just want to drop and wait right here. You drop and wait right here. If they push up, you can push up to push them back. If they push through down below, you're right up here. You can throw DM over them. You can, again, shoot down, get lots of headshots. That's great. But you don't want to be here anymore because there's no one distracting them. Their attention is going to go on you, and you don't do good enough damage to justify that. Game Buster, you threw your orb up there, which is fine because you don't have any other way to reach up there. Okay. But you don't need to be this far up. Now you can be. You don't want to poke phase like this, though. You probably have plenty of resources. Yeah, you have plenty of resources. You just can't worry about the fact that she's mixing health up there. Okay. That got both of them. Did fine work. You don't really get to enforce like this, and I know, so you threw this up there, and that just has to be your contribution. If your Rhine is back here, you're going to circle back here. You're going to do more damage, you're going to do more enabling your Rhine to swing than trying to sustain the Diva. It's just a poor distribution of resources. You can heal Diva when Diva's in range. When Diva's not in range, you have to let Mercy try to do that healing. You have to let Diva go for the health packs. With playing from here or playing from here, you can heal your Rhine, let your Rhine just swing hard. You can zap out the Sombra. They don't have EMP yet, though maybe you're worried about that. Maybe that's why you're playing separated. But you really want to be in the range to allow your Reinhardt to just swing, swing, swing with those left clicks. It's absolutely wild. I just thought he was didn't consider his I'm doomed. Yeah, he was probably thinking he was doomed. He would have been better backing out, but if he didn't have any shield left because he misused it, I understand why he did it. You fled from Hanzo. Okay. So this is a really good place for you to be, but if your team isn't enforcing this spot and you're getting pushed, you are right to leave. So I'm glad you're leaving. I hope you can safely get over to here. That would be my preference. Oh boy, you don't want to go down this straight line because now you're down this team's firing line and more people are going to shoot at you. I sort of wanted the push out here because these people would have naturally been looking more towards the Rhine, and now it's a very small adjustment for them to see you. Also, if you go out here, you have the option of nosediving through the health pack. Yeah, this is why we aren't up here, Game Buster. You take an arrow to the forearm and that's lethal. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So there's no reason that we can't retake some. So these EMP just came in, and that's scary. But we avoided the EMP, and we have boosters and DM available, and we have Fade available. So if we relook at this, oh, I guess if I rewind 5 seconds, we don't have boosters. Now do we have boosters? No. Okay. That's fine then. We can't boost in to protect the Reinhardt if we don't have boosters. And we use boosters to get here. Okay. But once we do have boosters, we do want to try to get up there pretty quick. Now we have boosters, and look how weak our Reinhardt is. Our Reinhardt has... Okay, now he's eliminated. But we did want to try to save him. And remember, if we boost up here, if we see our Rhine is really in trouble, I mean, he can't shield right now. So we would use our boosters to get up here and just hold our DM over him for a second while Game Buster catches up on him. Because this didn't have to be the end. It was probably the end. Yes, there's a window here, double damage. Yes, it's terrifying. Yes, he couldn't put his shield up for another second. But usually we would at least try to save our Reinhardt here. We'd boost up to here and then cancel boost here, because we don't want to get seen by them. We want the pillar between us and them, and we'd hold our DM over the Rhine. But that's okay. Play out a line of sight of the window, guys. Oh! Oh, brutal. Did not need to get hit by that self-destruct. Could have just walked over to here. And then you should have hit the fade. I assume Game Buster hit the fade. I don't like just fading for distance like that. I really would have preferred you went here. Like, you just faded for distance and went, I hope that's going to make me safe. It didn't really change the epicenter. You want to actually put cover between you and the opponents. That also would have put you here with your friends who you could maybe heal while they go force it. And then, hey, let's take a quick 3v1 against the Zarya. Okay, let's watch this because I care about your ult.
Surrender to my will.
You press this Q button without someone that you were targeting. Now you could be thinking I'm going to hard enable my diva, but your diva's not in there, and honestly, you don't want to do this yet. You want to do this. So if you want to use this Q to hard enable your diva, you just wait, let them get a little closer to a tick because this window is going to expire soon, and then as your diva is going in with the drop or with the next boosters and is close to them, then you'd pop your Q. If you're looking to eliminate someone, again, when you actually press this button,
Surrender to my will.
no, you don't have a target when you're pressing this. There's no one that's 3 seconds from cover. And if you waited 2 seconds, their window would probably expire. You'd be able to throw out a... Oh, come on. Cooperate. If you waited 2 seconds, their window would probably expire. You would also have someone to... It's just not going to let me. Whatever. You would also have someone to... Their window would expire. Becky would probably be more able to drop in to actually fight this and be in your coalescence, even if you were targeting a specific person, and you could throw your damage orb. So, like, 3 things go your way, and they're not about to get a tick or anything. They're not like, oh, if we're off the point for a moment, I need to scare them off. No, they have plenty of distance before they get a tick. So this is way early. You don't have a good target. Your tank isn't there where they can soak it effectively, and if you waited 2 seconds, you'd potentially get their window gone and your ability to throw a damage orb in the direction of the coalescence that you then pop, which would all be good things. Yeah. So again, you didn't know what you were doing with that, and that makes it not very good. You're gonna have to fade. That's not where you'd fade to. So you were struggling to get through this diva that was in your way, but when you fade, you can go through it easy, and you just end up right over here. And then you've got cover against everything except the diva, and the diva's not a threat because you have your own diva in the way here. This was very winnable. We go, hey, I'm healing this, I fade over to here, I keep healing this. This was how you guys won this trade. This, like, yes, eventually the help here is going to be too much, but you could have definitely stayed in this and done more as a pair. On the baby diva. Oh, no.
Touch from afar.
I'm okay with the damage orb. I want you... Oh, you're going for that heal. Okay. That's done. Swap back. It's generally good, especially at this level, for you to get on baby divas as much as you can, because it's a hard target for players at your level to track, so having Moira's auto-aim is really good for taking it down. So, yeah, I get it. You wanted to heal this McCree up. I don't really like that you're here, though. So if we look at this...
Touch from afar.
Like, I'm just not willing for you to walk across that Hanzo's sightline to heal your McCree. I'm just sort of going, nope, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to take down this baby diva from over here. That's really more... That's really more what I want you doing. I totally get it. If you had a healing orb to throw at this guy, sure. But without a healing orb to throw, or the willingness to use Fade to go here so you're behind the pillar to heal him, I don't heal him here. I just go, I'm too scared of the Hanzo. Let me go here and take down this baby diva. Yeah, you just counted on that Hanzo to not hit shots. Why do you not instantly... So remember, your right click doesn't have any sort of reload or ammo limits or anything, so as soon as you're done healing this McCree, you can just be holding down right click and getting these guys. Even if you're going to walk over here, you can just be holding down right click. It's free uptime. Just hold down right click as you go over here. And even if you miss, who cares? It doesn't cost you anything. You could even hold down right click as you walk around the whole time. I don't actually recommend it. It's kind of loud, but it's a thing that you could do, and you would then not miss out on situations like this. So you do this. Okay, you're done healing the McCree, so just why do you have to look here? You know where this is. If you want to go in here, you can go here sideways while holding your right click down on Moira because Baby Diva's too far away, and then get yourself in here. If that's where you want to go. There's no reason to look here to stop interacting with your right or left click. Use your right click right here. Same room in the Discord. Was an object thrown after the third heal me? Not necessarily hard focus them, and Baby Diva is a little higher priority than the others, and beat the fact that you're on a second point defense makes it a little higher priority than others to deal with getting an elimination as opposed to preserving your life, because even a couple eliminations spells the end for the attack, more so than at other places in the game. But here I'd have said it. Yes, you're very good at targeting Baby Diva, and I didn't like having to walk across the open space through the Hanzo to heal the McCree, so my preference is, nope, let the McCree figure out that he can stand here, where the Hanzo can't hit him, while you keep working on the Diva, and then you can get the heal off once you're willing to fade across once the Baby Diva's gone. Okay.
This will restore you.
Okay. Okay, is our Diva coming back to counter this Reaper? Yes. Okay, so our opening gambit on Reapers is usually going to be, I mean, your Hanzo, if you think about this, your Hanzo can just delete this Reaper unless he Wraiths. So usually when we're thinking about Diva versus Reaper, especially if we have friendlies around, we're looking to DM until we either see a reload or Wraith. So we're going, no, I want to try to DM these shots, not burn the Reaper down faster. Because the Reaper does a lot of damage to Diva, but also does a lot of damage in general. So we DM when we see Reapers. That's sort of our, until we see the reload or the Wraith form, we're looking to DM this. There's your DM. Okay, and you got it. You did get it with the DM there, and that's good. But it's scary because you could have lost Hanzo. This should have just been a right away DM, and then your Hanzo just deletes the Reaper. But okay, that happened. Meanwhile, Game Buster's over here on point. On his Reinhardt maybe for once? No. Okay. Again, your Reinhardt was in more danger than your Diva there. Your Diva is like 80, 90% health and was not really in the enemy's line of sight. Your Reinhardt was at 60, 70% health and was here in the enemy's line of sight. Trust me, you're a better Reinhardt healer than Diva healer. You can heal Diva, but you're better at the Reinhardt.
This is my will.
I didn't even see. Did you path through dark? How did we get our Diva there? Did you just fly across? Okay, you did. Yeah, that's fine. You want to make sure you're timing those flies when no one is close enough to punish you. That's kind of important. I'm a little worried, this Zarya could just chuck right clicks up here and you can't really leave. The best you can do to leave is hop up here, which puts you in line of sight of other people. So you want to take this when there aren't people around here, when they're on this side of the choke. But this was mostly fine.
My will made
Okay, so it's unfortunate. This is the right place to be holding his diva. This is good. Your Reinhardt, unfortunately, has fallen into this habit of holding back here, which is making your job harder. So you basically have to transition to up here holds. Rhine dance, yeah. Yeah, I get it, Game Buster. I get it. Your Hanzo is interesting. Interesting. Again, if our diva was here, we'd have more ability to support this very interesting play that is happening without feeding, because we could just drop down here. I mean, we could try to DM from here. We could shoot from here. We could drop here, interact a little more, and still be able to boost back out. So it's weird that this is happening. Your Hanzo's going for a very gutsy play of circle around to get multiple eliminations from behind, and I think he's going to get one. I don't know that he's going to get enough to justify it, but oh boy. Oh, did get the one though. So that he got the one probably means you're okay because you guys have the faster respawns. Okay. Um, was that an obvious grab? Let's take a look. Okay, so this should be pretty obvious. This is a telltale sign when Zarya's just run ahead of their team like this that they probably want to grab. That's a telltale sign, especially if they. So let's just do this from their perspective so that you get to see what this looks like. Does the reload? Does the right click? Didn't do the reload right before the grab, but didn't personal bubble on the way in because they want their personal bubble for the grab. So this you should have been like, I have an idea of what you're doing. You're just running forward at us. You're going to grab. And you can look at that and be ready to DM. Just stare right at the Zarya and be ready to press that right click as soon as you hear the sound effect, as soon as you see the projectile start to move at all. Or if they run in and look down, if they look down and their feet are by Ryan's feet, you just start holding the button because then it's not going to have travel time. So you just go, you're about to grab. And if you don't, I can hold the DM for 2 seconds while my team just deletes you because you're walking here to do this. So this is the sort of grab that you can start looking for and actually get at this level. Where should Ryan be? At quarter, holding, basically. Yeah, like your Ryan could go here, your Ryan could go here. Given that we have the diva here, our Ryan could start up here, throw fire strikes, do that, back up to here, and then sort of play this as long as they have someone keeping an eye out for them here. Or they could back to here. Like, it's okay for our Ryan to do a bit of a retreating thing. Like, hey, I throw my fire strike, now I'm holding this. For getting pushed a little, now I'm holding this. Now maybe I back up over here, and now I'm holding this. They don't need to hold just back here to start, especially if we have this sort of enforced. Okay. Why did you... Okay, so this is just a mechanical mistake. Surely you meant to throw a healing orb into this. I'm surprised that you're playing quite so far away, Game Buster. Your heals don't reach that far, so you got to be thinking about what cover is useful. You can play here, where your McCree is, where this cover is useful to you against the enemy team. Or you can play over here, where you had this cover, where you still aren't in the grab. You can go, okay, I'm going to circle behind and I'm going to get over here, and I'm going to do my work like this from here. I'm surprised that you're playing this far away, because you can't really interact with the fight in any meaningful way here, except for throw orbs. Moira's range isn't that good. It's part of why Bap sees more use in Brawl than she does. Heal, heal. What? Why are you... Okay, weird. And again, Becky, you don't need to be this far back. You can do, hey, I'm going to boost her up to here, and I'm going to play from here to punish this fight. Like, you don't need to be this far back. Remember, you do more damage as we get closer, and we have a Velt going. You can walk into these guys. Wrong orb 4 times. You'll get practice. You'll get practice. You'll get faster at making the judgments. But again, I wanted both of you closer to this fight. So as we go back and review this, we get more damage if we get closer. It's easier to DM our team from here, but we get more damage if we get closer. This is going to go down regardless. We've done that, and there's just very little reason to be back here. Now, I don't want you being the I'm in charge of my team, in front of my team frontlining diva, but I do want you close enough to get pretty reasonable damage, close enough to watch over your team. Your Rhine actually might be too far away. Probably just barely DM. Like, you want to be a little closer where you can go, hey, I get better damage. I can walk at some of these people, and I can pursue with boost. You're winning this fight. You can totally push in more. And now you see the Valk is going, so the chain is going. So you guys definitely want to be closer because you want to benefit from the chain. You want to let Mercy's Valk bounce to both of you. Okay, see how it's like we're making the Mercy pick, and there's very little reason for that. Our Diva can be right up here, and our Moira can be up here, or if our Diva's really good, they could go over here. This is what we'd actually want to see. We'd actually want to see, oh, shoot, this is over here. I'm leaving the chain to go push this out. Because this has the potential to turn the fight. If this person were smurfing or if this person were just better than this level, they could potentially go, I'm going to hop up here, and now I'm going to two-shot Moira. I'm going to chunk down Diva. I'm going to chunk down Rhine. Oh, two-shot Mercy. Like, that's the sort of thing, and Becky, you can 100% prevent that. You can just go, okay, I get close like this, now I shift and I push you out, and all you need to do is push them down. Even if you can't beat them, you just need to go, I push you down, I keep you out for 3 or 4 seconds, and then I drop down back here without losing my mech, go get this. It's I challenge you without giving up my mech. When you see hit scans on off angles like this, you challenge them. If you can beat them, great. If you can just make them leave, that's fine. Even if you can't make them leave, as long as you can get out with your mech, go get the health pack, and then 3-4 seconds later, try again, that's perfectly fine. It stops them during those windows from doing really, really powerful work that hit scans with better aim will be able to do. But again, you guys could also just go over here. Yeah, this is too far away from the fight. We're not checking the hit scan. We're not in range to throw heals or damage. Okay, and I hope we support our Hanzo this time. So yeah, now you have to see this. You have to see this over here, and we have to go here. We have to boost her into this and fight this. There's just no excuse. No. This is not the elimination. I know this feels like the elimination. This is what you need to do. You got to go, I'm going to keep you out. I'm going to deny you. Sigma equals distance. Diva equals hug them holding left mouse button. Mostly. Like, that's not completely true. Diva does, I don't want to call it equals. Diva does more damage at close range, whereas Sigma does equal damage at medium range and short range, so he's happy to play at medium range, especially in a Diva versus Sigma duel. Diva does better damage when she's right up in their face, and that baits a lot of people into, boosting through their Reinhardt like this into the opponent's face. That's not necessarily what you want to do. Once the fight is broken down, you can potentially do that sort of thing, but that's because the fight is broken down and you're not just boosting into a Reinhardt that's swinging at you. But getting a little bit closer, going instead of shooting from here, I'm going to shoot, let's pretend Reinhardt is an opponent, I'm going to shoot from here. I don't have to shoot from here, though it's fine if I do if it's not a Reinhardt, but let's be a little bit closer when it's safe, because we do get more damage than being back here. Can't just sit here, though. We can't just sit here. We need to set up, and we set up over here if this is where our Rhine is holding. There's times where we'd go here, but primarily we're just going to set up here, because again, look at this Hanzo that we'd be able to push out. This Hanzo that we just sit here, we sit here behind this pillar contributing to the fight, shooting in this general direction. If they come across, we have a nice cross angle on them, crossfire, and if the Hanzo pops up, we go, nope, I deny that. And you can booster right through the Hanzo and then go back with the same booster and then get healed up by your Moira. Or you can booster in and then cancel your booster once you're here, knock them off, shoot them for a moment, and then drop when you feel the need. Or Moira can come over here, heal you, throw an orb back, those kinds of things. Okay. Where are you going to play from, Gamebuster? Oh, this is good. Are we going to cover? Yeah. No. It was almost good. Diva. Okay. Oh, you run out of DM because you were DMing kind of early for this. Okay. No, you don't run out of DM. So, here's the thing. Where are you going to throw this? I think you're... Nope. Nope. Oh! All these ults do the same thing. This High Noon effectively clears everyone on his screen. It makes them go behind cover. This Dragon effectively clears everyone down the center, which the High Noon had already done. This Self-Destruct, because it lands here, clears everyone in its blast radius. So effectively does the same thing. This didn't do anything. We used 3 ults, all to effectively cancel out their window when 1 ult did the job. Covering your McCree with DM while he tried to High Noon did the job until you ran out of DM anyways, or were about to run out of DM. But they didn't go and try to go, we're going to outwait your DM. They spread to the wind, so that's fine. You've effectively canceled their window with the High Noon and just the High Noon plus DM. Great, take that trade. Instead, throwing the self-destruct, this doesn't work. Now, what you could do is you could have said, hey, we're going to pre-throw our self-destruct over here, so it'll blow it back here, and then we're going to pop the High Noon, and then they're caught because they go, shoot, if we run out here from the High Noon, the self-destruct gets us. But this doesn't threaten a different place than the High Noon. So you guys have now used 3 ults, all to threaten the same area. We don't want to do that. We want them to be like, hey, the High Noon threatens this area, while the self-destruct threatens the place that you're running to, the place that you're running to, the place that you're running to, if you're going to try to combo them. Honestly, I wouldn't even combo them, though. I just go, the High Noon does the job. If one ults, everyone ults, we are a team. Okay. Yeah, if one ults, everyone ults. Okay, so you're kind of hanging back quite a bit here when your Rhine was going in. So as soon as we hit the shatter, we know that our that's an interesting image, double beam. As soon as your Reinhardt hits the shatter, you have to assume that your team is going in, so you guys should start working your way forward. And if I look at Gamebuster and Becky, you guys really just aren't. You're waiting until your Reinhardt charges before even thinking about going forward, and then you're going to change your mind because of the self-destruct. Changing your mind because of the self-destruct is okay, but when your team uses an ult like that, you should be expecting them to push, and you should push with them. Your team is going to be able to do the most work during an ult, so if your team is using an ult, you want to be pushing, especially something like Shatter. So I want, you hear Shatter go off, you push forward. Well, the D.Va ult came after. Yes, the D.Va ult would have been a good reason to change your mind and go back behind cover, but I'm literally saying... Let's go back here. Push. You guys should be pushing right now. You guys should be going, oh, shoot, our Reinhardt is pushing. I want to get up there so I can heal him. I want to get up there so I can, fight from here, shoot my angles, use DM. You guys want to try to follow up, try to take advantage of this ult. You guys don't know if it was successful or not. Hey, it knocked someone down. There's some success there. So you want to already be pushing. And look at this. There's no self-destruct yet. There's no counter D.Va ult for you guys to be running from yet. Now there is, but you guys see how long it took you to make the decision to go, oh shoot, we need to push off of our Reinhold. Like the Reinhold was over by that point. And the Reinhold was always going to be over by the time you got there, but it will have still created pressure, created an advantageous situation. You want to be pushing, just like if your Genji dashes in and pulls out his blade, you don't want to go, oh, I wonder what he's going to do. Let's watch from here. Oh, how you doing over there, Genji? No, you want to go, hey, let's follow him in, let's do work. That's what you want to do most of the time with your diva, and you won't always do that with Moira because Moira's not always going to go in with dives, and diva's not going to always go in either. Sometimes diva's going to protect the backline, but that's if there's something to protect the backline from. And your Rhine, you are going to follow in because that's who Moira heals. Rhine is like, okay, well I don't have anything to do if I don't go in with my Rhine, so yes, of course I'm going to do that. This is not a target. Good. This is fine. You have to choke heals, and then you go for the Q. You go for the Q on Diva. That is not the play. So, if you guys are doing, which you are, you could know that Gamebuster wants to go for the Q, and Becky could be up here, and then it could be a case of, hey, Diva is playing risky, Diva is playing aggressive, because she knows that Gamebuster is going to back her up with a Coalescence. As soon as she, as soon as she's in here, she's going to get the Coalescence, and then the Coalescence is going to do work, pocketing our Diva, letting our Diva get an ult charge, letting our Diva do some work. It's not as good as a Reinhardt or a Zarya, but it's valid, and it's not great when our Diva's ult charge is only 11%. It would be much more attractive if our Diva's ult charge was something like 70%, 80%, but that's something we could do. We could go, hey, a valid target for our Coalescence is our Diva who's aggressively in this fight and still has her mech. Coalescencing into an opposing Diva, this gets out every time. There's just no way. This isn't a thing. Nope. I mean, cool, but no. Good angle, good angle. Crouch, good. You're gonna have to fade immediately. Fade, realize your health. That was not the direction to fade. This target was running away hard, so your fade was probably out to here, where you can tuck back into spawn for the heal, or you can tuck here for a second while you self-heal. Because you knew that you'd have your Reinhardt to help you push back in this way, and that whatever this was, it was Diva, was like super terrified, running scared. This put you in the middle of the point and was scary. Don't need to back away from this. Push it. Okay. Playing a little bit passive here. Yeah, so that booster should have been up to here, or even better, up to here. And just be like, now you can't shield against me and my team. If you try to throw the shield up against me, my team melts you. If you throw the team up against my team, I melt you. Headshots from behind. Like, you're playing this Diva a little far back in general. I like the off angles that we're being gone for here, but Diva is someone who does need to be closer than Sigma does, and is looking for the off angles, but can take the high ground off angles, can take the high ground off angles, can take the high ground off angles, can push into fights in the middle of them much more cleanly than Sigma can. So we need to be looking more for that. It plays differently than Sigma does. Is looking for off angles, but doesn't play from here. And even Sigma wouldn't play from here. Sigma would go, hey, let me hop up, and let me play from here, type thing. I mean, Sigma would love to play from here, just it's a pain to get here with all the hippity-hoppity you have to do. This Gamebuster fading out to the middle of the point. Okay. Leave, Gamebuster. Leave. You guys are so backwards right now. D.Va could try to support this. D.Va could try to be like, hey, I'm not letting them run over here. Gamebuster, Moira cannot. See how ineffective this is at doing damage? Lamps are not all that powerful. Or lamps, it's not that they're not powerful. Lamps don't have all that much health. It's 555. That's a lamp. What do we see? 30, 60, 90, 120, and then 150 health on that lamp. That was 5 seconds that lamp was up. And yeah, we didn't have micro missiles available, but that's how little damage we're doing from back here. It's just not very relevant. Like, this is only useful at this distance for stopping Mercy from self-healing, from interrupting Sombra hacks. That's all that we're really useful for at this distance. So we want to be a little closer to what we're interacting with. Yeah, we can put some shield pressure at this distance sometimes, but even so, being a little closer would be better shield pressure. I'm gonna find more wrong in the reviews than you guys do, but it is good that you're self-reviewing.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Yeah, this D.Va's way too far back.
Get into position.
Gamebuster, you want to be playing more over here, more back here. You don't want to just play back like this. You want to have an angle. Because Gamebuster, you don't want to just be back from fights because you would like to be able to throw right clicks and such. You sort of want to be like behind cover, but in places where you can peek and do work, or behind cover where you can interact. You want to be able to in range to interact with your Rhine, but also I can throw that, or I can interact with my Rhine, but also I can do this.
This will heal you. 60 seconds remaining.
Owie. It's specifically your job to go clear these, Becky. When there's this off-angling hit scan, this off-angling Hanzo, it is literally specifically your job to go clear those threats when you're on D.Va. This is good, though, covering the high noon. Gamebuster, okay. Let's go one more. Hey, Gamebuster, I don't know why you're in front. I think you were probably going, I'm going to go help Hanzo, but again, this is just a poor distribution of resources. We want Becky over there handling that. We want you with the Rhine. We don't want you in front of the Rhine. This is no. And surely they take you guys down here? Yeah, you just lost your Valk. Oh! Almost a combo. Almost a Shatter Bomb combo. Those are fun. Wow, okay. 17-minute game. They cap this in overtime. They gotta. Okay. Turn around. Good. That's your job. That was well done. Gamebuster fade jutsu Rhine. Fade jutsu. Okay. You're Rhine. Ugh. Okay. I'm less worried about those right now, and I'm mostly worried about keeping your Rhine up. And you're just caught in a duel. Okay. Good effort to finish. You should still be able to do this. They have to get the respawns back. Oh, they've got 4. They might be able to grind that out, actually. Oh, and you lose your Valk. Yeah, so they get it in overtime. Okay. Break the lamp, break the lamp. Okay. Oh, okay. That wasn't to complete in the end. Just a long overtime. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. So far, we've got some positioning issues from our diva. We want our diva to be, this was good for the beginning of second point, but then we needed to adjust more to this, and we need our diva to properly prioritize. I push out the Hanzo. I push out the Ashe. I push out these off-angling ranged threats. That is specifically what you do, and we want our diva to play a bit closer. We want our Moira to be playing more in places where they can reach their Reinhardt. That's going to be something that's key, and we've still got to fix these coalescences. That's a couple coalescences we saw that did not have valid starting targets. You know your valid starting targets for coalescences are a squishy that is 3 or so seconds from cover, or a tank that is in there brawling. And you have a tank. Your Reinhardt would be great, but even if your Reinhardt's not available, you're duo queued with a diva that you know can be right in there to do work. So you need to adjust to be closer to your Reinhardt, and then you still need to upgrade those coalescences. And I'm even more picky when you have a valid tank that you're duoed with in comms in the same room that you can make sure you get value out of.
Do you want to?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
But you can literally make it happen. You can literally make it happen. You don't have to press Q until it happens.
Yes.
Or you can say, Diva, get in there. And then, Diva boosters in, or maybe Diva's in better position and doesn't have to booster and just drops in from above, and then you press Q when Diva's, 5 meters from whatever she's fighting. And you're enabling your Diva while hurting that target. Okay, that's a lot of DM. So this should never be necessary. Just let Ryan do this. Like, DM is more valuable than barrier. Let Ryan cover this rotation. You don't need to peek this yet. This is just wasting DM. Go, go, go. Go with your Ryan. Yeah. We don't want this. We don't want to just wait here. We wanted to rotate with our Ryan. Or Widow's going to go up here and do Widow things, and that's fine. You can't really help her. Yes, you have the ability to challenge Diva, but honestly, you can't really help her. You just rotate with your Ryan, and you go through here, and you get 5 people in here, and you push his 5, and then hopefully your Widow peeks up and does her work as you're pushing his 5. But you don't want to wait out here and take this poke war. They have way better positioning. They have high ground. They can spread out more. You don't want to just stand out here and take a poke war. This is not to your benefit. You both needed to go and win your Ryan went in. Now it's too late. Oh boy. Oh boy. We doing split push? We doing split push. Okay. Not necessarily wrong, but this isn't going to work well. I do like that we've sent our Moira towards our Rhine. Way late in sending our Moira towards our Rhine, but I do like that we've done that. I don't like that our Mercy is back there. It's a point pressure. That's still blocked by the wall. And that's over. So can we get value over here? More healing than you need? That's way more healing than you need, Gambuster. Remember, let the hot do its work when he's in a relatively safe spot like that. Fine, you're writing him off. I'm not convinced you should have wrote him off. Like, he's pushing in here trying to do work, and you'll notice you have your Widow in this power position, and your Genji was also in here. So you potentially dropping and going, I'm going to play from here. I'm going to play from here where I can peek and heal my Rhine. I can do right clicks. I'm sort of in this fight, but have some degree of cover, because you can't do anything from up here. other than throw your orb. So going, hey, it sucks, but I'm going to drop and be in this fight, and I can even walk in further, and if I get in too much trouble, I'll fade back out. Like, you should still have your fade available. That's what you wanted to do in this fight. You had your Rein and your Genji in here, plus you had your Widow in a place where she can potentially win the fight. So, like, if you make these guys stay alive a little longer, she potentially wins the fight. Now, I know you probably don't trust her because this is probably a low-level Widow, but you see this fight did not go as terribly as I think you were expecting. They're down 2. If you'd stay in there, they might be down 3 or 4.
Hello.
Hey, Zara. Hey, Francisco.
Bonjour.
Peel, peel. Yep. Excuse me, Diva? Excuse me? What was that? We don't just boost her to point for the sake of getting to point. We could go, hey, let me get a little closer, and then I'll boost her up here to be an off-angle threat. I'll boost her up here to be an off-angle threat. We're not just going to boost her to point. Now we're stuck on point with no way out. Anyone that wants to, they can all attack us, and there's nowhere we can go. If we boost her up here, and they start attacking us, we just back up. Boost her up here, and they start attacking us, we just back up. And then we can drop into the fight when we want, and have boosters to leave again. Or to leave again and get a health pack. But we can't just boost her into the fight. Then we're way too vulnerable. Plus, we're in this fight ahead of our Reinhardt. We don't want that. Like, we can go in the fight ahead of our Reinhardt if we're going up to here, because we're not really going into the fight. But... yeah, I'm glad this worked out, but Widow carried this. Widow carried the last half push and this push. Which isn't bad. I mean, you sort of expect your Widow to do work, but you guys needed to do more to enable that. Why leave? Like, the Diva's boosting at you, who cares? You go, yeah, I'll fight you up here. I have more support than you do. Mercy will come up and help me. My team can mostly see you while you're fighting. No need for us to leave.
Objective lost. New defense hub. Objective B.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Yeah. So when we talk about the Widow, the reason that this previous fight where you guys went in when you were effectively down 2 worked is because the Widow was able to do work from back here, even if she didn't get the final blows. The Widow was able to just stand here, threaten them, do work, etc. And then you had a very similar thing. Your second push was more about they weren't really set back up from your first push having been moderately successful. Okay, your McCree is super early, but is going to do something very good. And you win. Okay. McCree felt comfortable because he had sights there for that. I hope you don't lose him. Okay. Please don't lose this push. Why is McCree 3v1ing? Oh. Why are we not pushing? Why are we not pushing? Why are we still waiting? It hurts! It hurts! We need to be pushing like yesterday. Yeah, you guys are like methodically still working your way in when you're up to. This is we just press W. 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 Even if our Rhine isn't going, we just press W. We're up to. Okay, so looking at this, we should have pressed W ages ago. That we didn't press W is, again, why is our diva on the ground in a place to get caught by this? Our diva can literally be up here threatening this different angle, right? Like, our diva can just go here and be like, hey, I'm influencing this fight, I'm doing work. Our diva can be looking to go, hey, if I boost her into here, I pull a lot of attention towards me, and this turns their team to go, we want to look at the diva, which makes it super easy for my Rhine to push down mid. Like, those are both things that our diva can do. As for our Moira, Game Buster, I'm just not sure why you would flank over here on Moira. Like, oh, your Rhine was over here. Okay, this is fine. And now you're running them. That's fine. Moment of truth.
Surrender to my will.
Okay, so this is to enable your Reinhardt. Good, works for me. 70% ult charge Reinhardt, you're enabling him. You're going to have to move fast to stay on him. You changed your mind, but okay. Better.
The power of destruction.
Oh, that was a little dicey. Yeah, you went up there because you took a little bit of damage. Like, you go through here.
The power of destruction.
Just stay right here. Literally just stay right here. You can tell that you're going to be safe here. You don't even need to waste fade. You just stand right here. Yeah. You just didn't track where it was going to be, and instead you go here, which puts you in like, oh, and you go flying, which means you took a little bit of damage from it, I expect. Maybe you just fade jumped off something. I don't think so, though, based on your health. I'm not sure why you're leaving, to be perfectly honest here, Becky. Like, we look at this. You have yourself a Moira pocket. Take the fight. You have yourself a Moira pocket. Is there someone you desperately need to challenge, like the Bastion? The Bastion could be a good answer, but that's not where you're going. Just take this fight. Take this fight. You're going to get the Moira pocket. That's great. I don't know why you'd leave. There's no reason to leave here. You just take this fight and go, yeah, I will 100% fight this thing while I have my Moira pocket and Mercy pocket, and we'll crush it. Or if you did need to boost, you'd boost up over to here and fight from here, but you didn't need to boost at all. This is like, you're abandoning him. Why would you do this? Okay. Diva, break the Diva. You want to handle the thing in your backline. In your backline. As Diva, you think of yourself as a peeler, and your two best ways to peel are to deal with stuff in your backline, or to go push out opposing hit scan that are on angles, like this McCree, except that he's your McCree, but he would be an example. These guys aren't really on an angle, so you don't care. Your Reinhardt shield can handle them. Window just went up. You're looking hard for do you need to DM something. Remember, that's the damage that is coming in just got doubled. You're looking hard for do you need to DM something, because you're very likely to right after an opposing ult goes off. Window would be a good example of that. And your Rhine is about to do something silly, but you could make this less silly. Your Reinhardt is trying to charge a Bastion through a window. He's in for a very, very bad time. Unless Diva pops boosters and holds DM. So hold DM, pop boosters, and chase your Rhine in. So your Reinhardt is trying to pin this Diva, or pin this Bastion, because if that happens, you guys win the game. If we pop DM to cover our Reinhardt and we booster in right behind him, and we're able to keep him alive long enough for this pin to connect, we win the game. That happens. Because DM absorbs infinite damage for its duration. So it doesn't matter that the Bastion, which pukes out an extreme amount of damage, just had that doubled. DM still eats it. It would destroy a Rhine shield. It'll destroy Rhine's health bar. But DM totally eats it. And we have, right now, both boosters and full DM. Literally, that wins the game right there. Okay, you got the Bastion, but you lost your Reinhardt, so I don't know how this goes anymore. Usually you'd stabilize for a second here. Just let your heals get you a little bit back up before you continue this, but this is fine. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. So close. Okay. Oof. Oh, that should have been it right there. Okay, so you're going to have to do target priority here, and this is basically going to be a case of we need to eliminate the targets that can go down fast, which is we're going to immediately try to force Moira's Fade, and then probably take out Soldier. Where are you going, Gamebuster? Okay. Oh, and they're all back. Ugh. Yeah. No. That's over. Just go to point. You can try to get out, but I'd honestly just go to point. Get yourself reset. Thank you, Blah. Thank you. Maybe, but that was an opposing window.
Thank you.
Good, broke the mech. Not sure why we used boosters here. Didn't really do anything for us. Nor sure why we're poking at that distance. They have an Orisa, we don't. McCree is trying to win the game again. Shield breaks to a Widow shot. That's not something you see every day. Did I say trying to win the game again? This McCree is determined to win the game. Okay. I mean, that one wasn't going to work because your Mercy was already down. You're not going to be able to finish it here, but... So this is right, sort of. We need to get as close as possible. Your Reinhardt, unfortunately, is staggering himself here, but this is right that you guys want to get as close as possible to places like here, and then you're just going to need to booster onto the Bastion and DM him while your team just rushes at him. That's how you're going to have to take this down. That wasn't the play. It was too early. You're missing too many people. Like, it's literally just going to take 6 people. And you're going to have to get close, which you'd almost done there, and then try to push. Get as close as you can on short sight lines. Don't give them any long sight lines, and then cover that short sight line with DM while you run him over. Okay, so if you wait, hopefully we don't have more staggers. You do. Can't, yeah, won't work. Reset. Reset. You actually just want to go, you actually just want to get eliminated here as Baby D.Va because it's going to delay your push too much to try to get your mech back. And you have to wait for someone to run back anyways. Yeah. And now they're pushing out and cleaning up. Okay, this is going to be a stagger fest. Make the best of it. Okay. Yeah.
Position.
Okay. So not the end of the world. Definitely things that we can work on. So again, if we go back to our diva play, we need to understand diva's effective range better. You don't need to always be right in a target's face. You need to be in places where you can respond to threats in multiple directions. But as fights go on, you get close to targets to do more damage to them. And you're responsible for boostering over to deal with off-angle threats, high ground threats, and you generally want to finish your boosters when you can up here on high ground, 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 up here on high ground. Moira, again, we want to be playing where we can get our Rhine, not back here where we can't. If we can get our Rhine here, toss over here, right click, get our Rhine here, toss over here, right click, coalescences. You had the one okay one. Didn't have any amazing ones. And you want to think about where you're going with your fade a little bit more, which is just going to have to be a little bit, okay, where am I going? What am I doing, etc. Diva, remember, you don't run from a diva that you're fighting. You can battle the diva, especially when you have a pocket. Like, that's very much a thing. And remember that DM exists and is your best solution to Bastion. It's a good solution to Windows. That's definitely something we want to do. So you couldn't organize your team to do this, but the way to do this was to get your team, maybe 3 or 4 of you here, maybe someone else over here, and then you do a 3-2-1 push, and maybe your Rhine tries to do his charge. I don't care. Maybe he tries to run with his shield up, but you cover it with your DM as you booster in, or you booster at the Bastion and cover it with your DM as the team runs in, and takes out the Bastion. Really though, this was winnable, not after the Bastion was in, not after they broke your push, but on the push that got you 2 ticks. This was very winnable. So that's unfortunate, but that's okay. Plenty of stuff for you guys to work on. Again, for that Moira, think more about your effective range. Think more about, hey, I want to stay with my Reinhardt. If my Reinhardt is going in, I probably want to go in. Like, staying back here doesn't do a ton of good. You can write off your Reinhardt and say, I don't want to give up positioning. But the reality is, if they clear your Reinhardt, which they will, they'll be able to push you out. So you want to go in with your Reinhardt and then be playing in a range where you can effectively heal him most of the time. And if you go in without fade, you can play pretty aggressive because you have fade to get out. So even if your Rhine does aggressive stuff, you can go in somewhat aggressively with them as long as you've still got fade. If you don't, you're playing a little more here. This is good. If he goes deeper, you'll follow him because you can fade out. If you can't fade out, well, you can't follow him. And I think we've covered that. Really look for those off angles as a diva. Think about that optimal range a bit more. If you guys have questions, let me know. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help out. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below. Oops, let's jump over here. Okay, what do we have question-wise? We're almost okay. Their DPS are doing some work here and there. Yeah, they're doing some work here and there. Their DPS were trying. It's just sad at this point. Yeah, it was close. It was close. They almost had it. There was a window definitely to have it. Lost 3 games in a row. Ouch, ouch. But there's some improvements you can make here. Like, especially if you guys are duo queuing, you can get that coalescence value. And there's lots of positioning improvements that you can make, Becky. And Gamebuster can make some positioning improvements, too, to be a little bit closer to his right, a little bit more willing to go in because he can get out with fade. 6-game lost streak. It's okay. You'll break it. You will. Just happy it was your fault. It's not completely your fault, but yeah, your Reinhardt did not want to win that game. I say that loosely. Obviously, he probably was trying. I'm not saying he was actually throwing, but what he was doing was going to be very hard to pull through. Your DPS were definitely trying, but it was going to be very hard with your Reinhardt, and then you guys definitely have adjustments to make to your play too. Exactly. You can do something about it. Well, when your McCree got 2 eliminations like that, yes, you just accept that he's going to be slow. So if he's back in spawn, maybe you don't go in, but he was just at the choke kind of chilling, twiddling his thumbs when your McCree had gotten 2 eliminations. If he's not going, I don't care. And even if he is not going, you always had the option to help him push by boostering up to here, because that turns enemies around, but is still pretty safe for you because you have this pillar to dance with, and that makes it even easier for him to push. That encourages him more to push. You follow what I'm saying? Cool. So, do I switch? Oh, let me take this. No questions, I think. 90 subs, 20 to go. Yep, we're gonna make it today. Blah, today or early tomorrow, I believe. Any thoughts on "you're a support, not a healer" motto? You are a support, not a healer. You are very much a support, not a healer. Now, Moira's the most healery, I would argue, of the supports, but every support is a support, not a healer. You have to get value out of your things besides just healing. You have to get some, hey, Moira's got the ability to pressure out flankers, to take down baby divas, to get, a damage orb that scares off a Sombra faster than normal. Like, you do have to take advantage of those things, yes. If teams want you to switch, do I switch or get them salty? I don't recommend switching personally, because what I would say is you're generally trying to improve at a hero, and when you're trying to improve at a hero, generally one-tricking that hero is the fastest way to do it, as long as you're actively thinking about how do I keep getting better at this hero, how do I play this hero into different situations. Some things do require, very few things in this game require swaps of heroes. Most things just require swaps of playstyles. Like, a hero can play in multiple playstyles, and you just need to understand, how do I play versus Bastion? How do I play against an extreme poke team? How do I play against a brawl team? How does that change when I'm on D.Va, when I'm on Moira, etc.? Some heroes are really, really pigeonholed, but by and large, you need to adjust your playstyle, not the hero. And if you're constantly swapping heroes, you won't learn how to do the different playstyles on the hero, how to adjust. But that's up to you, because they will get salty sometimes, and them getting salty does have a cost. But hey, you're playing to get better, not to make people happy. We had some really salty people. Switch to, you already had Orion. They wanted double shield. Weird. They just want double shield for them. Thanks, Temp. No problem. One trick Lucio versus one trick Zen, who switches. I mean, Lucio Zen isn't a terrible support comp. It's not as bad as you might think. Remember, guys, Goats was played with Zen Brig Lucio. Like, yes, okay, there's a Brig, there's a third support, but original Dive was played with Zen Lucio. Like, that's not impossible. Yes, it's not as good as it used to be. Now, these days, you'd probably want to run a Brig with your Zen, or you'd want to run a Mercy with your Zen. Those are both better, but that's not some terrible combination. It's better in my mind than Lucio Brig, which is painful, or Brig Mercy isn't great, and Lucio Mercy is also horrible. So, like, Lucio Zen, that's real. It's not great, but it's real. Yeah, but you just tune them out. You just tune them out if they get angry. You can tune them out if they don't like high ground. You have to play where the reality of the fight is happening. So, like, you can't go defensively on Route 66, for example. I'm just going to hold high ground forever. If your Zarya drops in your Reinhardt, for example, you're kind of stuck. You're going to have to drop. You can't just be like, no, the high ground is better, so I'm going to insist. You have to play around reality, but you don't care if you're on, like, Ashe and people are like, where? You're just like, okay, I'm going to keep using this. Thanks, bye. I want to report you. Won't matter. The report won't matter. And again, you just don't get into the argument. It's not worth trying to convince people. It's not worth trying to teach people how to play the game in game. It's a futile endeavor. Don't spend your time or energy on it. Just you do you and go, okay, I'm going to do it this way. And you go right back to doing your thing. Okay, that's going to cover it. I am going to, yeah, no, that's going to cover it here. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.